In this video, we're going to answer this question: how can e-learning be improved? With 5 out-of-the-box ideas for you and your team to think about, but also we are answering this question from the standpoint of, as an industry, how can it be improved? So the cool thing is you can take initiative and improve your e-learning programs internally at your organizations or your online courses that you're selling to customers by implementing one or maybe a couple of these ideas that we're going to tell you today. Now, welcome to the eLearning Simplified YouTube channel. My name is Johnny Havey. I'm one of the co-founders of eLearning Partners, and we created this channel to simplify e-learning for you. So then you can focus on providing remarkable value to your learners. You shouldn't have to worry and stress about how you're going to get an e-learning program off the ground or how you're going to improve or add on to your e-learning program or online course. We don't want that for you. We want you to have a simplified e-learning process, which is why if you're into that, subscribe to our channel, turn that notification bell on, and give this video a thumbs up. So let's dive in. What are the 5 out-of-the-box ways that you can improve your e-learning and that e-learning can be improved as a whole? Number 1, and this is the most important. If you're not doing this now, start doing this tomorrow. You should have been doing this yesterday, but that's okay. Do it tomorrow. Have your learners build your program for you. So what does that mean? Learner build is what we'll call this. Learner build. Your learners should build your e-learning program for you. If you are selling a e-learning program to your customers, it needs to be built by your learners, because the only way that your customers are going to purchase your e-learning program is if they see themselves in the program. So you need to have your learners help you build. So what does this mean? This means that, let's say that you're an organization that provides amazing services, and you might be worried. You're like, I don't want to build an e-learning program. I'm interested, but I don't know if I want to do it because it's going to take time away from me serving my clients. And if you're looking to train your employees, same thing. You're like, I don't know if I have the time to build this to train my employees. Well, the great thing is when you're embracing the learner build model of e-learning, you don't have to do any extra work. So when you're serving your clients on a day-to-day basis, or when you're training your employees on a day-to-day basis, you need to listen to what they are struggling with most. So when you're meeting with your clients and they say, well, I wish this, and this, but that's okay, and they move on to some other thought, you need to immediately ask why they brought up that concern. This happens all the time when people tend to share what most concerns them very subtly. So when you embrace the learner build model of e-learning, you are attuned to all the subtle pieces of feedback and challenges that your learners express. Now, the best way to do this, by the way, and you should do this tomorrow, is if you're building a program for your company to train your employees need to be on the program build committee. If not, the head of the program build committee. Because if you're going to build a program for your learners, for your employees, and not have them part of the process, then you're not going to engage them in the end. Now, if you're selling a program, same thing. Why not have your best client or a group of your best clients that you want to educate help you map out the entire program, or make changes to your current program so that it speaks to them more? So hire them to help you build it out. And it could be as simple as giving them some free consulting, like free hours of consulting, or just giving them another perk, or giving them a discount on your next invoice. Get them involved. This is the number one way to improve e-learning. Just as an industry, e-learning has learn in it, but it really needs to have learner in it. E-learnering. That's what it should be called. That's how we can improve e-learning. It's called e-learnering. So the learner build, that's number one. Number two, Human-to-human interaction. This is something that we have clients tell us all the time. I want to build an e-learning program, but I don't want to lose the human-to-human component. It's a hard thing to do. And when you're also looking at building a program to train employees, you want them to interact with and know who they're working with. We have this great client called MAPCO, and what they're doing is building out a training module all about the history of the company, all about the history of the C-levels, the managers, all of leadership of the company. And instead of spending a bunch of money hiring out a professional video production company to go to their warehouse and record all these interviews and whatnot, they're actually doing very raw interviews on their phones so that you can get a real good feel for the entire team. It's much more human to do that. So that's one way you can really bring that human component, is tell stories. Have people actually be a part of your e-learning program. It's one reason why we don't like animation for e-learning. It takes out the human to human component completely. Well, you want a face in your e-learning so that your learners have something to connect with. Now, when you're talking about selling an online course or e-learning program, you can actually charge higher prices if you have a human-to-human component. If you're selling an e-learning program and there's no human-to-human component, you're going to have to sell it for a lower price. And that's okay. That's fine, because having a human-to-human component in e-learning right now usually means more work for you, the subject matter expert, the business owner, the C-level, the COO, the CEO. So you have to think of creative ways to integrate that into your e-learning program. So as an industry, can we please have the human-to-human component be more central to e-learning? Let's work on it. Number 3, better rewards. What does that mean? Better rewards. What this means is you can't expect everyone to want to take your e-learning program or online course if they have no reason to trust you or believe that it's good for them. They have no reason to. So if you're building a program, and this is one of the big fallacies that exists in e-learning, is the build it and they will come fallacy. This isn't Field of Dreams. If you build an e-learning program, people aren't going to come unless they have a reason to come. Okay? So if you're building an e-learning program to train your employees, and you expect that your employees are going to jump on and take the program, or your new hires are going to be extremely excited about the onboarding now that they have to do online, you're kidding yourself. Rewards are extremely important. Here's a good example. There's this company that a lot of us, I think, have heard of at this point, called Coinbase. And Coinbase is in the crypto industry. Coinbase is a cryptocurrency exchange. What is an exchange? Well, think of Robinhood. Robinhood is both a place where you can purchase stocks and purchase fractional shares of stocks. So if you want to put $10 into the stock market and you want to buy Apple, you don't have to spend the hundreds of dollars that Apple stock costs. You buy a fractional portion of that, $10 worth. Same thing, cryptocurrency. Coinbase allows you to purchase fractional pieces of crypto, or you can purchase full pieces of crypto. Some cryptocurrencies are very inexpensive. But anyway, Coinbase has no reason to think that you are going to take the e-learning that they have created. Why did they create e-learning? Coinbase has created e-learning because they want you to learn more about the cryptocurrencies that they sell, the lesser known cryptocurrencies that they sell, so that you have reason to purchase them. So they've literally built e-learning programs to educate the consumer about why certain cryptocurrencies are worth investing in. And by you investing in those cryptocurrencies, they make a percentage of your investment. And this is kind of like, back to our stock example. Why should you invest in Apple? Think of like a smaller Apple that no one's ever heard before. How are you going to get someone to invest in that? You're going to teach them about that stock and why they should invest in it. Same thing. They're teaching you why you should invest in it. But why should I care about spending my time going through a training program that you have created for me that in the end is benefiting you because I'm paying for the cryptocurrency and you're getting paid because I'm paying for it? Better rewards. That is exactly how. So what Coinbase does is to incentivize people to take these e-learning programs. They give you that cryptocurrency. So if you're doing a e-learning program about coin X, which I don't think is actually a coin, it probably is because everything is a coin, but coin X, you know nothing about it. Coinbase is going to tell you, finish this micro-learning and you're going to get $4 or €4, whatever country you're in, if you have Coinbase, once you complete the training. Or as you hit milestones, right? We have a lot of videos on this channel that talk about milestones, how important they are. Coinbase will literally be like, okay, so you hit this milestone, here's $1 of this crypto. Better rewards. And then in the end, you're gonna be like, oh wow, I just got $4 worth of this crypto. I'm gonna go buy $10 worth. Okay, so they have achieved their goal, which is to increase their sales in that crypto. So better rewards. You can't expect that people are going to always take your training. You have to incentivize them. Now, the only reason why I have a Coinbase account, I don't do any trading on Coinbase. The only reason why I have a Coinbase account is because once a month they have more e-learnings that I can go on there, learn about some coins, and I get rewarded for it. They have conditioned me to open up the Coinbase app to look if there's a new e-learning available. That's what you have to do with your program. Now, if your employees or your learners who are purchasing your programs from you have already done that, or if they've already engaged in your programs before, you don't have to have as good of rewards. It's really when you're trying to create credibility for your program right out the gate, you have to reward them. And then hopefully your program's so good because you're doing a learner build, they're going to come back for more because they know it's built for them. So really, you need to combine a couple of these things. So to build a better e-learning program or just improve e-learning in general, have to be learner focused. Human-to-human component be nice. Better rewards. Let's go to number 4. Common user experience, or UX. What do we mean by this? Well, I'm personally tired of seeing learning management system, LXP, authoring tool extraordinaire, whatever. I'm tired of seeing all these new technologies coming out with more and more and more features. It's not important. What you need to do, and the low-hanging fruit here, if I was a computer scientist, or if I had a massive team of computer scientists, what I would do is go and mimic what I could legally from Netflix, do the same thing from Instagram and TikTok, same thing with Google and YouTube. I would take all of the non-proprietary pieces of that and build a user experience that mimics it. So why do we say common? We say common because why are we trying to teach learners to do things that they're not used to? If your learners are on YouTube every day then why not have your program, your e-learning program, be on a software that's like YouTube? Or why not just have it be on YouTube and just have all the playlists be private? Common user experience. Picking a learning management system or an e-learning technology doesn't need to be complicated. The easier you make it for your users or your learners to access it and to learn how to use it, the more engagement you're going to get, the more sales you're going to get if you're selling a program, the less returns you're going to get if you're selling a program. And when I say returns, I mean, you're going to be like, hey, I want a refund. So not returns, refund. The less refunds that you're going to have to give. Common user experience. Match the UX that your learners are already used to. Now, the flip side of this is if you're building an e-learning platform and it has all these bells and whistles, and even if it has a phenomenal UX for your learners, so the administrators and individuals who have purchased that platform, that software, to put their e-learning on, if you make it hard for them to understand, and that's part of your business model because you want them to have to come to you for technical support, you're not in the business for the right reasons either. The user experience needs to be one that is easy for both parties, the learners and for the admins. There's some phenomenal technologies out there that have amazing front-end experience for the learners and a terrible back-end experience so that you can't even make any changes that you want to as an admin. And vice versa, there's some great LMSs out there and technologies that have a great back-end where it's really easy to make all the changes you want. It's very outdated for the learners. So how do you do this without spending a ton of money? Well, keep it simple. Forget about all the bells and whistles and just make it simple. And there's some great LMSs out there that keep it simple, that are inexpensive, that have really done a great job of improving e-learning. We need to keep that up. We need to keep that going. You can start with a very simple LMS on the front end user experience and the back end user experience for the admins and slowly add more to it. That's what Netflix did. That's what TikTok does. That's what Instagram does. That's what YouTube does. Follow their model. They're doing it right. Why try and do something different from them? They have the user experience down. So common user experience. Number 5, there's some amazing technology out there. Virtual reality and augmented reality. There's some cool stuff happening in e-learning. You're probably integrating some of it. There's some low-hanging fruit that you can integrate right now that's very inexpensive that has to do with augmented reality. But really, where we need to go, it comes back to the common user experience piece. If you are going to integrate AR and VR, you don't want to also have to teach your learners how to do something new. Okay? You don't want to have to teach them how to use a new type of equipment, a new type of technology, in addition to teaching them what you actually want to teach them. You see why this is so important? It is so important to make the learning experience as easy as possible for the learners, because if you're having to teach your learners how to use the system that you're trying to teach your learners on the important stuff, you're going to lose them. So when you get involved with AR or VR, or as AR and VR keep becoming better and better, what we really need to move towards is this technology being available without additional equipment. I'm going to give you an example of this. So when QR codes first came out, you had to download a separate app onto your phone to scan the QR code. That's when QR codes first came out. So you couldn't just pull up your phone, pull out your camera, and scan the code. You had to have a specific QR code reader on your phone. And then some companies even made it even harder. So you'd have to read the QR code with their app. Okay, so if there was a QR code out there, you'd literally have to take your phone out. And then if you didn't have the right QR code reader on it, you'd have to go and find the right one, download it, and then 5 minutes later, you finally can scan the QR code, and then it was like a, "Hi, how are you" message. It's like, it doesn't work. You've basically made it extremely hard for your learner to use the technology. And the reason why QR codes are so big now and they work so well is because almost all of us has one of these in our pocket. And now we don't have to go in and download a new app. We literally just take out our camera and scan the QR code. We don't have to do anything else. You see a QR code, you're like, great, camera, boom. And then the link immediately shows up. You click on it and it goes to a landing page or an app or whatever the creator of that QR code wants you to go to. That's why they work so well now, because it's not additional equipment. It's equipment that we already have. So when we're thinking about AR, when you have to give your learners additional technology or additional equipment to interact with that AR, first of all, that's going to cost more money to you because now you have to provide that equipment. Second of all, you have to teach your learners how to use it. And third of all, 5 years from now, that equipment's probably not going to be needed anyway, hence the QR code example. So really, when you're looking at AR or VR, integrate it, but do it without additional equipment. We don't need additional equipment. You don't want to have to teach your learners how to use it. That's why Google Glass never took off. Because yeah, great. I wear glasses, so that's really exciting to me. It'd be great to have, if I could spend $200 on glasses and they could do some cool things. But the reality is I also don't want it here. My phone does everything I need from that standpoint. So taking my phone and putting it in my glasses isn't really exciting to me anyway. So it's like you have to train people how to use a different technology. Don't reinvent the book, use what they already have. So to recap, how can e-learning be improved? Well, number one, it should really be called eLearnering because learners should always build your program. Human to human, super important. Better rewards. Check out Coinbase. It's pretty cool what they're doing. Then we have common user experience. Think about what you like to do on a daily basis. What apps are you interacting with? How are you learning? How are you learning? How do your learners want to learn? They want to learn with the UX they already understand. And then AR without additional equipment. The more additional things you add, the more expensive it is for you, the harder it is for your learners to actually achieve the end goal, which is to learn what you're teaching them. Now, if you want to learn more about how to build successful e-learning programs every time and launch them successfully every time, we have a link to a free masterclass in the description of this video. You will get instant access when you sign up. Instant, immediate access. And what we'll do is we're going to take you through a step-by-step process of how to build any type of e-learning program or online course that you want. And we're actually going to complete the first 2 steps with you, which is really cool. So we're not just going to give you all the steps, we're going to complete the first 2 steps, which are the most important, the learner build piece, and then we're going to tell you exactly what to do next. So definitely sign up for that free masterclass. Now, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell so you can actually get notified when we put out new content. And we'll see you in the next video.